Are you tired of sitting the bench and you want more playtime? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down 3 key points that I guarantee you if you follow to a T and you master, you will get more playtime. And this is from my perspective as a high school basketball coach in Los Angeles at Venice High School. So without further ado, let's dive in. To begin, number 1 is you have to be at a minimum as skilled as the person in front of you. And so for the most part, I would say you would probably need to be more skilled than the person in front of you, because as of right now, the person that your coach is playing in front of you, that means your coach trusts them more than you. How you get in front of them is you have to be more skilled. So let me break it down, right? What do I mean by more skilled, right? And in today's world, some of this is going to depend on your coach and what they value. However, there are certain skills that every single basketball coach wants. And we as basketball coach, we love talking about defense and defensive tenacity and intensity, and I will get to that point later. However, right now, if you want to be on the basketball court, especially at a higher level, you have to be able to be offensively competent. And I'm going to break it down. So, number 1, you have to ask yourself, what position are you playing right now that you want to get minutes at, realistically can get minutes at, right? Are you someone who is tall, broad, strong? Are you short, stocky? Are you short and quick? Are you somewhere in the middle? Are you a knockdown 3-point shooter? You need to figure out what you can do really well and excel at that. So let's break it down, right? If you are a point guard and you want to get more point guard minutes, what you need to do is, honestly, and before I talk about that, being a point guard is the hardest position in basketball. Just by far, just what you have to know. If you want to get more point guard minutes than the person playing in front of you, you need to, number 1, be able to handle the basketball, value the basketball, low turnovers, right? If you're turning the ball over a lot, no chance, you do not deserve any minutes, all right? Secondly, you got to know all the plays in and out. You have to be able to command a group, right? Your team, and get them into the sets that your coach wants you to run. So you have to be a vocal leader. You don't have to be super vocal off the court. However, it is a requirement. If you want to play point guard, you have to be able to talk and get your team ready and in action for whatever play your coach wants you to run. Next, all right, you have to be able to knock down some shots, right? And it doesn't mean you have to be the best shooter on the floor. Unless you are an elite player at getting to the rim, like, a Derrick Rose or a Ja Morant, you need to be able to knock down shots. And lastly, this kind of goes along with valuing the basketball. You need to be able to pass the rock, right? You need to be able to see the floor, have good vision. You don't need Steve Nash vision. However, you do need to be able to see, right? Have good basketball IQ. I see someone's open in the corner. I'm going to drive here. Make sure I'm going to draw the help in, then I'm going to kick, right? That's a more advanced play than just kicking it right away, not sucking in the defense, all right? And you're not giving your teammate space to knock down that shot. Now, in my opinion, there are 2 other positions that are on every team. So you have the point guard that we just talked about, and next we have what is an off-ball guard or a wing. And so in my opinion, you need to fall into one of these 2 camps offensively. You either need to be a great shooter, right? And someone who can catch and rip and attack off closeouts and score with a float game, all right? You finish off 2 feet. Or you need to be a slasher, all right? Someone who is a great cutter, great at getting to the rim. And if you can be both, if you can be a knockdown shooter and a great cutter, right, that is going to give you all the more opportunity to get yourself on the court, all right? Number 3, the third position, all right, is a wing/big. So it's kind of your typical 4/5, and you got to be able to rebound, right? If you are someone on the bench and you're behind, whoever is in front of you, you want more playtime, you need to get more rebounds. Point blank simple, right? Beat their butt in practice every day. Get way more rebounds than them, all right? And then secondly, right, you just got to be able to finish around the rim. Keep it really simple. Maybe your coach wants you to be a stretch five and shoot from deep. However, honestly, I'm a high school basketball coach. If most high school fives do this, if they rebound and finish around the rim, as high school basketball coaches, we're going to be happy. So when you rebound an offensive rebound, go up strong, right? So be able to finish around the rim and be able to rebound. So that encompasses our first key point of you have to be more skilled than the person in front of you. It doesn't matter if I came into the Lakers and I was the best teammate, I was the most engaged, I valued what Darvin Ham said, and then obviously I'm not as skilled as LeBron, I can't take LeBron's spot. So you got to be more skilled than the person in front of you. All right, next we got know what your coach values. And so what do I mean by know what your coach values? So me as a coach, some of the things that I value, right? I value people who take care of the basketball. I value defensive tenacity. I value people that have a great character, right? And are high energy and high-fiving their teammates and are great communicators and are engaged, right? And so when I reward playtime, especially for those that are on the end of the bench, it's for those who are consistently showing our team's values. And it is your responsibility as an athlete to know what your coach values, right? Listen to the clues, like what do they talk about over and over and over again, then that is something that they value. And then if you want more playtime, you should probably do what they say over and over and over again. It's pretty simple, okay? And so for me, and just some common threads from what I talk to with other coaches, other things that I talk to, right? Be an energy giver, right? Come to practice, give out high fives, bring good energy, bring, that tenacity of just love and joy for the game. Be someone that people want to be around, right? If you're here, you have bad body language, like, coach, you're not playing me. As a coach, I'm not playing you. Why should I? Why should I reward that bad behavior? Don't do that. Body language is huge. Be an energy giver. Be a positive force on your team. All right. Number 2, all right, defensive intensity, right? This is something that everyone can control. All right. We talked about skill, which I mainly just talked about offensively, and there is skill on defense too. Like, don't get me wrong at all. There's really important skill on defense, and you got to have defensive tenacity. All right. You got to be a dog. All right. You got to have the mindset of this person is not scoring, right? You got to have the mindset, if you're big, I'm getting every single rebound, right? And that is what's going to set you apart. You got to have energy. I'm going to share a little story about this one athlete that I have on my team. And there's just, I can't bring him out of the game. He's huffing and puffing, but he's diving on the floor. He's like low-key running into people because he just wants the ball so bad. He's fearless. He goes in for rebounds, right? He may miss a couple layups. It doesn't matter. It doesn't discourage his confidence. He goes up. He plays so hard, right? You have to have intensity. There has to be no doubt in the coach's mind, like, man, look at this guy. He's going crazy. He's working his butt off. Look at this girl. She's going crazy. She's working her butt off. There's got to be no doubt. No doubt. All right. And to finish, talk about valuing the basketball, right? And I'm going to bring this point up again because even if you're not a point guard, you have to value the basketball. If you're someone that's turning the ball over more than 3 or 4 times a game, that's too much. It's just way too much. You should really, if you're really elite, you're at the 1 or 2 range a game if you're getting a lot of minutes, right? Let's say you're only getting 3 or 4 minutes and you're at 1 or 2. Well, then the coach ain't going to trust you. Value the basketball. Be simple. And that comes from a lot of reps, right? You're going to make mistakes. And are you going to be someone who hangs their head after they make a mistake, or are you going to be too clap, move on, all right, and not make another mistake? So value the basketball. Last key point is number 3 is consistency. You cannot do what I just talked about in this entire video. Be super skilled as a 3-point shooter, as a point guard, as a big. You can't consistently bring energy. You can't consistently bring defensive intensity if you only do it one time, once a week, twice a week. All right, you have to do it every single day. And so I have athletes that I have had before, and that they show up, they bring intensity one day, and then the next day they're back to their old selves, slumped, bad body language, and I'm like, I'm not going to reward that. If you want minutes, you have to consistently beat the butt out of the person that is in front of you. Like, there's just no other way around it. And so the one thing is that, maybe if you're watching this and I've got the opportunity to work with a lot of athletes now, is a lot of people want something and they would like to get more playtime, but you got to be committed to get more playtime. You got to be committed to being consistent every single day. Every day. It's a lifestyle, right? If you want more playtime, you have to be committed. There's just no other way around it. And so that's one of the most frustrating things is I see people that they just don't want to sit on the bench because they feel like, I don't know. I really don't know. They just don't want to sit on the bench, but they also don't want it bad enough. You have to want it bad enough, right? And if you don't, then too bad, right? Like, you're not going to get playtime unless you consistently outwork the person in front of you. If you consistently give more energy, you're more skilled because you're in the gym, you're practicing your skills. There should be no excuses for what you can work on. There's BTG basketball videos. There is By Any Means basketball, TJL training, and 1,000 other channels that you could watch. Right? It's got to come from yourself, right? It's got to come from yourself. You got to have your own self-initiative. You got to be your own coach. You got to get yourself going. All right. So if you got something out of this video, make sure to subscribe to BTG Basketball Beyond the Game Basketball. I want to prepare you to be successful, not only in basketball, for life. I want to help you become a better leader on the court, a better playmaker, a better shooter. And most importantly, I want you to have fun and enjoy this experience because we only get to play basketball for so long, right? Then you become an old coach like myself, I'm only 25 years old, but I love what I get to do. I love coaching basketball, and I hope you all love playing the game as much as I love coaching it. Really appreciate you all. Coach Furtado out.